Hi there.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm okay. Sorry for the delay.
Not a problem. I hope everything's okay with that rescue dog. Oh,
Yeah, everything's okay. Just a friend's dog was in a bad situation. I had to run and grab her, but she's here now.
what kind of a dog is it?
She's, I think she's a husky cross of some kind. Big dog.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with those kind of husky dogs or golden retrievers. Going through TikTok with the random family with, oh my,
Yes,
so much
I
fun.
love it.
Okay, I'm going to introduce you to the entrepreneur. We have Hannah, who's going to
Hi.
be my entrepreneur, and we have Erica, who's going to entrepreneur for you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here. Thank
I
you.
started my podcast back in 2022. I just thought I tried to make it accessible for myself and for my deaf friends or viewers or anybody. So,
I love it.
whoever I had on the podcast were very understanding and accommodating. Sometimes I will push for interviews at times. So we'll be like, oh no, you don't have an interpreter. Just let me know another date or time, but I will make it work with you. I was like, I love
That's
you
amazing.
guys.
I love it. That's awesome.
But thank you so much for coming on to the KatChat podcast. I try to invite new people and new directors or new writers or actors and actresses, and I've been very impressed with your work with the Christmas Baby and Detective Two Stuff. I have to say, like a water or a hose or something, like a just like the real wax with Kimberly Tutan and Lucas Bryant. I was like, okay, we have Brendan Penny and Heather Hammond. Oh my gosh, I cannot.
I'm so glad you liked it. Thank goodness.
Okay, before we dive into all of this, I want to know more about you. What made you direct movies? What made you
Mm,
took your hat from an actress to
hmm
directing?
Yes. Yes, it's a bit of a winding path that I've taken. I grew up as a dancer, and then I ended up leaning into singing, and I actually did my bachelor's degree in opera. And then from there, I did a lot of musical theater and opera as a performer and as a choreographer because I was using kind of the dance stuff in that arena as well. And then uh, a pandemic happened. I was on a Broadway show for a couple of years, Broadway tour. A pandemic happened, and then I shifted. There was no theater, so I started auditioning for film as an actor. And the more I was on set, the more I started to get ideas about how I might approach directing certain things. And I had already been coaching actors for many years, and so it kind of just fell into that. I started doing my own independent projects, short films, music videos, commercials. I did a pilot, a documentary, just kind of trying to get as much experience as I could. I applied for a bunch of programs, the Women Directors Chair program through in Canada, and then I found out about the Make or Mark program through Hallmark. And at the time when I learned about it,
Mm.
I didn't there wasn't an option to apply. There wasn't an application form. So I just kind of waited and asked friends. And I'm actually quite close with Marcus Rosner, who's one of the Hallmark hunks. You may know him. He was someone who I did a movie with as an actor. We didn't work together in a scene, but I had reached out to him at the time saying, I I see that you're producing these movies as well as acting in them. Would you offer me some insight? Because I was starting to write them. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And he's kind of become a bit of a mentor for me. And he was doing a movie with Ashley Williams, who had just started the Make Her Mark program, and he actually advocated for me to speak to her, and then that kind of started the application process. So it wasn't as cut and dry at the time as just like putting in an application form. But then I started the interview process for that program. I got in, oh my gosh, and was paired with Peter Benson as my mentor. Learned so much from him. Continued to do my own independent projects, and then yeah, by the grace of the powers that be at Hallmark, I've just finished my third movie for them actually. So I'm really really so happy to be here, and yeah, it just what I find really interesting about the moment I'm in right now is it kind of feels like all of the different skill sets that I've worked on through all these different arenas, through dance, as an actor, as a singer, as a theater person, and then as an actor for film and someone in my independent projects, I've pretty much worked in every department. I've boom opped, I've assisted camera, I've been a second, a third, first AD. And just like seeing it from all sides, it's like I feel like I'm taking all these different skill sets, and now directing is the place where I can kind of use all of them. The way that I approach preparation, it feels like rehearsal for a play, and the way that I approach moving the camera feels like a dance, and the way that I dissect a script is how I would as an actor. So it just feels like kind of I found my pocket that allows all of those things to be there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm so impressed in how Maker Mark program became a big thing. I talked to Ashley Williams about it,
Yes.
and the way
Yes.
he had insights about it. And I'm very excited the new director like Chris alone and then
Mm.
Eva Tavares. So I wanted to know about your journey. What did you like about Maker Mark program? How did it push your motivation to keep trying and keep going for directing two movies and now you just finished a third?
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the people, right? It's people like Ashley and like Peter and everywhere, everyone, pardon me, at the highest level of Hallmark. They really are just so encouraging and so patient and generous with their time and their knowledge. And I just feel like it was kind of the catalyst that really put some rocket fuel into my journey and my understanding of what it requires to do these movies. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was so nerve-wracking that I had shadowed before Peter, but walking on with Peter and being there in an official capacity through Hallmark, it's like, okay, I gotta really, do my best with this opportunity. And he was so kind, and the producers were so kind, and just really gave me the option to ask questions and offer ideas and really work through what my process would be in those circumstances. And yeah, I'm so grateful for it. Truly life changing in so many ways.
What was it like to when you got your birth script for the Christmas baby? How did you
Yeah.
feel and what did you envision the goal
Mm.
for the Christmas baby?
Well, that one was particularly special. I mean, I will say, like, I'm a queer woman myself, and for to be able to do a movie about two women married with a child, like, so incredibly powerful. And and a relationship that they had been married for a number of years, so we got to delve into some of the layers of what a relationship looks like truthfully. A lot of these movies have the meet cute, right? They've just met and then they have tension and then they have to work through it. But this one, it was like they had history that we could mine and get into. And the thing that I'm proudest of with that movie is that we were able to lean into the authenticity of those beats of those relationship struggles, and just this very simple thing of, well, I never thought we could have this kind of thing in our relationship. I never thought we could have a child. And now that we can, that brings up things because we've been so set in our dynamic for so long, and I don't want to lose you, and the emotional side of all of that. We just got to examine that in a very honest way, and I'm really proud of that. And it was funny and and bright and comforting, and all of the best things about these kinds of movies. I'm so when I got the script, I was I cried. I was so excited because it was just everything that I want in these kinds of movies, just in one little perfect package.
It was a beautiful movie. I mean, when I saw the synopsis and the movie poster, I'm like, because
Yeah.
Hallmark is coming out of the shell and the
Mhm.
formula, that
Mhm.
boy meet girl, meet a cute, and they get together,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
how that goes. But I feel like everything Hallmark shifted with the corporation or adding another streaming service, which is Hallmark Plus, which allows
Mhm.
the movies to be
Mhm.
streamed the next day. I feel like the
Mhm.
formula shifting. And I really
Mhm.
like it a lot because it's all about connection. It's
Yes.
about friendship. It's all about community. And it's all about
Mhm.
maybe possibility of same-sex marriages or
Mhm.
relationship. Boy, boy, girl, girl.
Mhm.
It was just a beautiful movie. I mean,
Oh, I'm so glad you liked it.
Bill and Ali Liebert knocked
Love them.
it out of the park with that movie.
So true. Yep. And we had Barbara Niven and Rebecca Staub. All the classics of Hallmark came together for this one. And it was, yeah, it really, I was so incredibly proud and lucky to be paired with that script.
How did you determine the tone or the mood of the movie? Because when I watched the movie again last night just to make sure I
Oh,
had
you
all my
did?
ducks in a row. I just, first time I would watch the movie. Second time I would take note and make prep for my review or my future podcast. And
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it again. I always look at from the director's perspective. I really like the vintage feeling, the
Mm,
old time feeling where the lights are not like too bright. It's a
mm,
timber, very
mm,
low. So I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was
mm,
really well fitting for the movie because old fashioned or old time and thing because some families are old fashioned, some of the
mm,
families modern, and I could
mm-hmm,
see a little bit of conflict when the baby showed up. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, so how did you vision to make the mood and the tone work out for the
Mm.
story?
I love that you picked up on that vintage kind of old school vibe because that was very intentional. That what's interesting now in the age that we're in is some of that is coming back in a new way. But yeah, there's this extra layer of, you know, this vintageness, this um history is also kind of they're bringing a freshness to it and they're flipping the script in some ways. So I love that you clocked that. Um, I mean, as far as and the characters kind of dictated that, right? Kat's character, she designed sets for theater, and oftentimes there's that kind of old school vibe in some of the things that she was doing, and she would have been coming up in theaters that may not have all the newest things. And so she's entrenched in history and layers like that. And so really me determining the vibe comes from what's on the page, right? What are their dynamics as people? And then these, I wanted it to feel very intimate and kind of, as you say, not super blown out, like just like that we're right here with them as they navigate all of this. And that goal bleeds into every department as far as lighting, set design. You see it in Texas Two Step as well. Like there's a very distinct look and vibe to that movie. And that has to do with all the layers of the story, to do with the community and how long they've been together, the history that Heather and Brendan's characters have, the history of the bar, the history of this community, like that richness is something I love to feel in every movie I do. Um, the richness of those layers. So yeah, it's very intentional and it comes from every department with lighting and all of that.
Yeah, I just love it because I thought the movie was so Christmassy and it's
Mm,
some scenes or some parts where chaos happened and it's funny. So I should really enjoy that movie and it stands out, like you said, it stands out a very powerful message and a powerful theme because
mm-hmm,
who says a same sex relationship or marriage cannot have a baby or adopt a baby regardless. So
Yes.
they can.
Well, totally. And I think part of the power in that is showing, I think that people who are not necessarily involved in the queer community kind of put those kinds of couples kind of away. They're like, they're different. But in actuality, they're not. This movie, the powerful thing about it is they show a couple, regardless of gender, a couple that's navigating a very normal thing that any couple would navigate, that any couple would struggle with, that any couple would have things that would come up that they'd have to talk about, and the community that rallies around them. It's not gender specific. It is, in fact, something that's universal. And by portraying this kind of couple, with it's not overly sexualized, it's not overly traumatized, it's just them. It's just and that is where I think the impact is lies within it.
And another movie kind of similar to that, but with a different plot. And the three movies of Christmas on Cherry Lane and Lucy
Mm,
Ivy.
that's right.
Oh, I love those three movies for
Me
different
too.
reasons. Always chaotic and confusing. I had to watch these movies over and over, trying to think, okay, they are connecting to them. And the boy is dating someone from her family, and that
Yeah.
they all live in the same house, but in different decades or different years. It was just beautiful. And the last
Yeah.
wrap up of the third movie, I'm like, it's all about Ivy. Oh my God. And
Yeah.
Lucy played Ivy. I thought it was
Yeah.
beautiful. And of course, Jonathan Bennett, and I can't remember his partner's name,
Vinny Rodriguez. Vinny Rodriguez. Yeah, he's great.
Benny. So again, same that man looking into
Mm-hmm.
fostering, adoption. I thought that was beautiful. So tell
Mm-hmm.
me briefly about the experience with the Cherry Lady with a great a temple of cast. I mean, you have Aaron
Yes.
Paul, you have Jonathan Bennett, you have John
John Brotherton.
Franklin. The
Yeah.
list goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so much fun. The first movie, I only was on set for one day, and everyone was so kind. Let me be clear. I was only on set for one day as an actor, and then actually that was one of the first movies that I was invited to shadow on. I shadowed Gail Harvey through the rest of the shooting of that movie, and it was an amazing experience. Yeah, the story was I love the complications and the intricacies of it. It was really engaging and something that made me really excited. And then when they asked me back to do the rest, and I got to do the movie with Catherine Bell, um, and had we had more of her story and her struggle also with having a child and all of those things. I mean, it was just such a gift because there were the right people behind the camera, lovely people that really cared, and stories that were interesting and that were giving voice to a lot of different things for a lot of different people.
I just love it. I mean, I was like, the more I think I like the kind of movie with different stories, the different plots. Sometimes those movies don't work out, but
Yeah,
the way of flow, going back, I'm like thinking, I'm like, okay, I got my family in order. I got my connections in order. And then,
yeah.
okay. So it was really I thought it was really beautiful and just fun kind of chaos.
Yes, totally.
Okay. Stepping into Texting Two Step. I saw that movie poster. I was like, oh, hi, Mike. Okay. I mean, do not go the real whack on me because then I saw the screener. I was like, okay, pause. I need to go pull off or something. The vibe, the chemistry, the banter, the smirk between Brendan and Heather Hammond. I cannot get enough of that.
I know.
So again, like I really like the vibe. I mean, my favorite part of the whole movie was the bar. I really love the Sweetwater bar.
Yes.
So tell me more about that. Was it actually a bar sitting there, or was it just like an empty, useless space? I love that.
No. We lucked out because we shot in Kelowna, British Columbia, and we found an actual line dancing country bar there. So, yes, our production designer and our art team really did an amazing job to amp it up for the movie. You know, the string lights, the posters, the dollar bills everywhere, the license plates, very specific to Texas honky tonk bars. But the dance floor and everything and the stage, that was all there. The bones of this place were amazing. We actually, as a team, went to the line dancing bar before we shot there because we wanted to see what the energy was like when everyone was in there dancing, and it was incredible. We all danced, the band was playing, the DJ was playing, pardon me, and it really was so informative to how we approached the movie because so much of the movie is rooted in community. And what we noticed when we were there watching the actual line dancing at this bar was that everyone, doesn't matter what level you're at, if you're out there on the floor, people are supporting you. You know, they don't even know you. I ran out onto the floor with one of our line producers, and we were struggling behind some other folks that were doing well. And we were kind of hooting and hollering, saying, like, oh, messed up again. And this girl turned around and she says, "You're doing great. Keep going." And it was just, she didn't have to say anything. In fact, we probably were getting in her way, but there was just kind of this thing of when you're out there on the dance floor, everyone's kind of just coaxing you where you need to go, which and supporting you even when you're making a mistake. And it really felt like such a metaphor for how the community of Sweetwaters in the story shows up for each other and shows up for Heather's character Olivia. Um, it was we lucked out so hard with that location. It was amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know how to line dance correctly. I just follow the flow with the people because
Yes.
I feel for the beat. I don't listen to the music. I feel for the beat. I try to follow the rhythm.
Right.
Half of the time, but four turns, blah, blah, blah. 1 and 2 turns. I'm girl. I should have to practice and keep repeating. But
Yeah.
you know what? Everything about that movie,
Uh,
everything. I shoot the angle with them when Olivia and her back friend June coming up to the bar and the show outside. The blue. I'm like, I want to be there.
yeah.
I want to go to that bar and just line dance and was the band a real thing or did you just like hire up the band?
So those are all actors, Damon, John, and Travis, pardon me, David. They are actors, but they all do play. They aren't a band in real life, but they do all play. And so we kind of put them together and made that a thing. They did so well. Everyone did so well. The whole cast was so invested and so talented. It was such a treat.
So good. I really like how the dynamic with the cast it should thrown into a lot of moments laughing and shit. Like with the Nucky bird, my favorite part was the fringe. Happy, banging, naked. They're like, okay. That's a really good little part of the script that really worked out really well with the movie. And again, with your charm of the lightning and the vibe spot on for this kind of Texan movie,
hmm
Texan culture, and of course, line dancing. The wardrobe was amazing too.
Yes.
It fit really well with the movie
Yes.
and the theme.
I have to give a shout out to our costume designer. Her name is Maria Ducharme, and she did the costumes for a movie that I acted in 2020, and I put her name in the ring for this, and she nailed it.
What you do enjoy about experiencing all three different worlds. You have your producer, you're an actress, and now a director. So tell me about your experience about each of them. I'm not really familiar on your producing process. but with acting and directing. So tell me about what you learned and what you hope for the future in each of these worlds.
That's a great question. Producing is I think such an important skill to have as an actor and a director as well. I think it all supports the other thing. Producing is basically can you bring all the right people together to create the energy that you want in a sustainable, efficient, and cost-effective way? When I do that for my own independent projects, pardon me, it can be very complicated because generally speaking, we don't have a lot of money. So you're trying to figure out how to get the best result for everyone and have everyone feel so supported when you don't have the capital to do that. Um, but it makes me very crafty, so when I'm directing, it's like, oh, well, I've done this cheaply before. I wonder if we can try this. Or, oh, I've done this. I have a person that I did this with that I know will show up with the best energy, and I'm gonna ask that person in. So different things like that, really inform how I approach these movies, especially that these movies are done on such a tight timeline, and so quickly. They're turned out so quickly. So you have to be very adaptable. And I think that's what producing has taught me, adaptability and flexibility. And then, as an actor, similarly, you are having to adapt and be flexible dependent on the production's parameters. So just like understanding what it takes to do all of these different things as a director, as a producer, helps me as an actor to show up as the best kind of teammate on set. Um, yeah, it really, when I sit and think about all the different things that I've done, it really feels like they all help the other thing, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, do you prefer to be in front of the camera or do you prefer to be behind the camera and do it all of that? I'm always curious if an actor or an actress becomes the director of a movie or a project. I was like, okay, I'm going to ask this $1 million question. You prefer to be in front of the camera or do you prefer to be in the back of the camera? And all of the responses are really interesting and surprising or something I
Yeah,
knew about them as a person.
it's a hard question to answer because they are, like I said, so intertwined for me. They all feel like kind of related to the same thing. It's crafting story. I really do love being in front of the camera, and I really have a lot of fun behind the camera too. I'd like to just be able to do it all. I know that's not a good answer, but I think it helps the other thing. So I feel like the more I act, the better I am as a director, and the more I direct, the better I am as an actor. So it all feels kind of related.
Okay, last question before we wrap up this podcast. Do you have any goals? Well, you're not stopped as a director, or what do you want to see in the future? I know you want
Mm,
up your third movie. I'm
hmm
pretty sure you can't share anything about that. But what next for you in the future as a director? What's your goal?
Yeah, great question. I love working for the Hallmark Channel, and I will continue to do that forever, and for as long as they will have me. I love doing these movies. I love rom-coms. I also do really strongly want to get my foot in the door with episodic, with more series television, with procedurals and um, bigger shows. I also write my own things, so right now I'm finishing a feature script, and I've also got a pilot script for a sci-fi series. I kind of dabble in a lot of different things. But I really would like to continue to kind of get that traction and get people excited about some of my other things, my independent projects. I just want to see the world where we can make things, women specifically, that we're not a statistic anymore, that there's still so few of us. I would love to say that it is truly equal, and that we're also invited into rooms where we can create our own things and advocate for our own things, in a real meaningful way. And I'm so grateful for the program opening those doors for the crew of us that have been asked in. And yeah, I would just love to see a world where it's not the common theme that, oh, there's so few female directors. We have a lot to offer. We have a lot of really important viewpoints. And yeah, excited for the day where it's not a statistic.
Well, wonderful. I really appreciate all of your input and all of your perspectives with three different worlds. And I'm really looking forward to more of your projects coming up into the future. I'm hoping that this third movie that we should wrap up on is a Christmas movie or that I could
It's
skip.
not. It's not a Christmas movie. It's coming out in the fall, and I'm super biased, but I think it's really fun.
Okay, awesome. I can't wait to look for any announcement for that. But Eva, I really appreciate your time to be come on to the KatChat podcast and to talk about your experience as a director for these two soon to be three wonderful movies for the Hallmark Network. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
Woo!
Bye bye.